The New York Yankees have made multiple moves today, and on top of that, this has a huge implication on the team as we also have a major injury update in regards to a Yankee All-Star and why there is more here than initially meets the eye for the New York Yankees. And we are going to break all of this down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Yankees Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. If you hear those sirens, those are the cops coming to arrest you. If you're not subscribed to Yankees Digest, if you're part of that 69%, you're getting in that cop car. If you're part of that 31, you're safe. In all seriousness, guys, I really appreciate all the subscribes. Everyone subscribing to the channel. You guys have been killing it recently. It really does help. We're on that grind. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the fact that Brian Cashman has been active today for the New York Yankees. The team has made multiple moves that nobody saw coming today. Now, as we know, the New York Yankees have had a pretty interesting season thus far. Their starting pitching has been quite weird because Max Fried looks like the Cy Young. Meanwhile, Carlos Rodon has been up and down, but mostly doing well recently. And then there's also been a bit of struggles here and there by the literal rest of the pitching rotation. The relief pitchers, there's some great ones, there's some not so great ones. And then the batting has been interesting. We've seen key guys like Austin Wells start slowly, and Giancarlo Stanton is not here, and he's been the DH, so Ben Rice took over. And, well, Ben Rice has been absolutely phenomenal there. And on top of that, we've seen Aaron Judge have one of the best seasons anyone's ever had in baseball history. It's been a whole lot. Let's just put it there. And the New York Yankees, they made multiple moves, and that is because of Giancarlo Stanton. Now, the move the Yankees made today, they made a signing as the Yankees announced that they have claimed Bryan De La Cruz off of waivers from the Atlanta Braves and optioned him to AAA, the Scranton Wilkes Barre team. So that is a huge, huge addition. The Yankees have added an outfielder onto their team. He will be with the Rail Riders. He'll be on the 40-man roster as well, which is important to note. De La Cruz has spent a lot of times on different teams, mainly being a journeyman throughout his MLB career, spending it on 4 different squads. Now, this season, he had a negative .3 WAR and 47 at-bats in the majors. He had 9 hits in that time, didn't hit a home run, had a 191 batting average, which is down from his 250 average usually. Then he stole a base, flashing a bit of speed when he gets on, but he gets on base quite rarely at only 240 right now. His OPS is an abysmal 453 right now, and his OPS plus is a 28. Mind you, league average is 100. So De La Cruz has had a rough 47 at-bats when he was on the Atlanta Braves, who opted to waive him off their team. Now, De La Cruz has also played a bit in the minors this year. He's got 25 MLB at-bats and 40 minor league at-bats. In that span, he only has 8 hits in those 40 at-bats, which is basically the same. I mean, 200 batting average to 191 is not really different at all. It's just the number in front of it makes it look better than it is, but it's .09 difference, as we know. It's nothing really. On top of that, the on-base percentage and OPS are slightly better for the same reasoning. However, where things stand now, he does have 1 RBI in the minors. Now, this is a guy who the Yankees have brought in because they trust in his ability to run the bases. They trust him to be a solid depth piece for this team. They do have a good depth in outfielders, but they had to make a decision. And the reason that they had to go out and do this is because of none other than the great playoff performer, Giancarlo Stanton, because there is a huge Giancarlo Stanton update from the New York Yankees, who announced that to make room on the 40-man roster, the Yankees have transferred DH/outfielder. He's not an outfielder anymore. We're past those days. Giancarlo Stanton to the 60-day injured list. So Stanton now going to miss more time than expected. When Giancarlo Stanton was ruled out for the season, out for the season opener, it was widely expected that he would come back sometime around May or even late April, but he was expected to miss the first month or so of the season. Now being transferred to the 60-day DL seems to indicate that Stanton is farther away from returning than initially thought. Now, there's been some process for Stanton after getting those PRP injections in both elbows. He got 3 of them in each elbow, and it is a 3-round situation, so he got all 3 done. But where things stand, it's clear that Giancarlo Stanton is not ready to come back yet, and maybe not as close to being ready as some people think. Now, Stanton is in an interesting situation as he's been one of the more solid pieces for the Yankees over these 8 years that he's been here. Obviously, spent a lot of time injured since he got here. This last season, he had a .233 batting average with 97 hits, 27 home runs, and 72 RBIs in 114 games. Missed some time due to injury. But when he was there, he was a very solid player for the New York Yankees at a 773 OPS. Was it some phenomenal season? No, it wasn't like the year prior where he was an all-star, but he still put up good numbers. And then, obviously, as we know, in the playoffs, he was downright insane. Had an OPS of 1.048, had a batting average of 273 with 15 hits, 7 home runs, 16 RBIs, and 9 runs scored in 14 games. Stanton was on a warpath, as he always is in the playoffs. Playoff Stanton is a real thing. We all know that. And I think playoff Stanton is one of the reasons why Stanton got transferred to that 60-day DL. I think there's 3 pillars of reasoning to why Giancarlo Stanton is on the DL. Number 1, simple. He's probably not close to being ready, and the Yankees don't want Stanton to play on tendonitis with an injury. Now, that is the right move. Giancarlo Stanton, when playing injured, is notoriously bad at it. On top of that, he's someone who you don't want to risk that tendonitis getting aggravated. And that leads into pillar 2. Because the Yankees want to make sure that that playoff performer, that playoff G, is still going to be there, and he is still going to be healthy and ready to go for the playoffs for that time around July and maybe June as well, just so things can really start to get going. I mean, we're 60 days away from July 1st right now, so where things stand right now, I have to stop saying that every 5 seconds. I really do. I've been doing this on Yankees Digest. I keep saying, well, where things stand right now. I gotta shut up. I bet some people would like me to shut up and stop making these videos, but no. Well, look, for Giancarlo Stanton, essentially, I almost said it again, he's really at this point where the Yankees don't care if he plays in May. They don't care if he plays in June. They care that he gets enough time to warm up so we can get playoff G. That's what matters to them. And the final pillar of this is Ben Rice, because Ben Rice has been downright nasty for the New York Yankees thus far this season. Rice on the year is averaging, well, first of all, he's got nearly a 1 WAR, despite the fact that he's been a DH all season long. I mean, he's played catcher for 5 minutes, but outside of that, he's really just been a DH the entire time. It's a 266 batting average with 25 hits. He has 8 home runs as well. He's balling. Mind you, right now, Aaron Judge is first in home runs, tied for first in home runs with 10. Ben Rice is 2 behind him. Ben Rice has been unbelievable. He's at 958 OPS plus a 170. He's come down to earth a little bit since the beginning of the season, but he's still doing some great things out there for the New York Yankees. The numbers are still good, and Ben Rice really does look like a future star for the Yankees. We saw this happen in the minors, so it shouldn't be as shocking as it's been, but also when you start playing the way that Ben Rice is playing, you do get surprised. Look, on an update on Stanton from ESPN, they mentioned that Stanton, who's 35 years old, has been sidelined all season by tendonitis in both elbows. The 5-time All-Star took batting practice with teammates last week for the first time this season, but the team does not have a timeable return for Stanton to get to the lineup. Stanton is in his 8th season with the New York Yankees. Last season, he had 27 home runs and drove in 72 runs with 114 games played. As we know, he was among the club's top hitters in the postseason. He was the top hitter, finishing with 15 hits with the 7 home runs and the 16 RBIs that the Yankees advanced to the World Series, and Stanton won the ALCS MVP. Look, all these numbers are great. Everything we've seen from Giancarlo Stanton is a sign that he's going to be this guy once he comes back. But right now, with Ben Rice playing the way he is, there's not exactly a spot. Now, Michael Kay likes to mention how Joe Torre used to always say, well, these things just work themselves out, and by that, it means injuries happen. So whether it's Paul Goldschmidt, who's older, going down with an injury, he's 37 years old. There's a world where he goes down with an injury, they move Ben Rice to first base, they move Stanton to the DH, every problem is solved, and then once Goldie comes back, they have to figure it out from there. They're probably going to continue to ramp G up slowly, and I imagine Ben Rice is still going to come back to earth a little bit. My guess is that he finishes the season with his OPS somewhere in the high 8s instead of like the 1s or the 9s that we've seen thus far, and that's still great. And I'm not hating on Ben Rice. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's going to get better and better as time goes on, but I could see that happening. And with the way that Stanton mashes against left-handed pitchers and the way that Ben Rice really doesn't, I think there's a world where how we'll see Stanton slowly get warmed up and back into this is him facing lefties while Ben Rice stays at the DH and faces righties. So Stanton's going to be playing, 1 every 3 games to start. They're going to ramp him up very slowly. They understand he's not young anymore. They understand he's very injury prone, and the New York Yankees want to be safe about this. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Have a great day, guys, and go Yankees.